I'm Andrene.
And I'm Joel.
And this is Rewind Rewatch, a 90s movie podcast. Welcome back to Rewind Rewatch. Woohoo! Where we discuss movies that have been requested by you all, the lovely listeners. And then we talk about the themes, we talk about quotes, and just in general what happens during the film. And then at the end, we will give our overall rating between 1 and 5 to basically rate how likely it is that we would rewatch the movie again. Today, we are talking about The Man in the Iron Mask from 1998. This was a big movie for me. I'm not sure how much it was as far as with other people, but I loved this film when I was a little girl. This was a PG-13 rating with a 2-hour and 21-minute runtime.
Was it 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Really?
That's what it said when I Googled it.
No, it's like I realized that it was not short, but I didn't realize it was that long.
I mean, Leo likes a long movie.
Especially now. Especially since he started doing movies with Martin Scorsese, who I don't think has ever made a movie shorter than 2.5 hours in his life.
Well, speaking of now, his newest film is One Battle After Another. Have you seen this movie yet?
I'm not, but I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and I heard that one's also very long.
Yeah, I heard it's long, but also amazing.
Yes.
So I checked on Rotten Tomato, and currently it has a 90% critic rating and an 85% audience rating. So the people seem to love it.
So a few things that just made me think about. Number one, Leo, who obviously is the star of Man in the Iron Mask, but I feel like he's one of those actors that I trust. Mm-hmm. And when I say I trust, I mean that when I see him in a film, I'm usually like, I trust that this is going to be pretty good, because he can afford to be picky. And so, like, I feel like he's not going to do a movie unless he really thinks it's a good script. And I've seen enough of his movies that have been very good that I'm like, okay, I trust this guy's taste that if he's in this movie, it's probably not going to suck. And, you know, we'll talk about his filmography in a second. The other thing that I was thinking about, though, is Rotten Tomatoes, which I feel like people oftentimes, like, overstate what that means, right? Like, on the one hand, yes, Rotten Tomatoes is basically showing critics, did they like the movie, did they not like the movie, right? So if it's fresh, that means the review is positive. Mm-hmm. If it's, I don't know what the opposite of fresh is, rotten.
It's like some green splat.
Yeah, I guess it's Rotten Tomatoes. I guess it's rotten. So like when people say like, oh, this movie has like 100% rating, it's like, that just means people didn't think it sucked. It doesn't mean that everyone thought this was the best movie ever. Right. Obviously, that's still good. You want critics to like your movie.
They all liked it. Right.
But I think sometimes it gets like blown out of proportion where it's like, oh, this is a 10 out of 10 movie. It's like, that's not what it means. It just means everybody didn't hate it. But anyway, as I was watching this movie, I was looking up his discography. I'm thinking of musical artist. His filmography. Because I was trying to remember if this came before or after Titanic. And in my head, it was before, but it was actually after. Because Titanic came out the year before in 1987. These movies came out like 6 months apart.
Yeah, what's funny about that is they were both out in theater at the same time. And
yeah, because Titanic was in movies
forever
for like a year and a half.
Forever.
Yeah.
What's funny?
I think it still might be out.
What's funny about this is that, so I wanted to see this like opening weekend. Not this, sorry, Titanic. But I couldn't at the time because, like, at the time, one of my close friends, her mom was, like, kind of strange. And she said that
Her mom was kind of strange?
I mean, she was. She said that she thought that, like, witches prayed over in movie theaters. I don't know. So she wouldn't allow her daughter to see it.
That's a good reason.
She wouldn't allow her daughter to see the movie. And so I had to, like, wait until later to watch it because I promised I would watch it with my friend.
You promised to watch a movie with your friend who couldn't go to movie theaters.
But at the time I didn't realize that what I was getting myself into.
No, you had no idea.
I feel like it was like, under like false pretenses. I made this promise. So anyway, I went to see Man in the Iron Mask with another friend, and then we snuck into Titanic to like watch I was like, I gotta see Leo. Like I have to see this.
Did you catch it from the beginning?
So not from the very beginning, but I caught enough of it.
Okay.
Because back then, like, no one's really checking tickets.
You still got to see Kate Winslet's boobs, is what you're saying.
I did see that.
All right. Well, that's what matters.
There were no assigned seats back then. You just kind of plop down somewhere. You know, front row is always open, and that's it.
Sneaking into the movies was like a whole thing.
Yes.
At the time. I don't know if kids are still doing that, because I'm pretty sure kids don't go to the movie theaters anymore. But
they just go to Crumble and get cookies. Like, by me, the kids are always out there, like teens. Like, it would be like 10:30 at night, and they're outside of Crumble getting cookies. I'm like, this is what y'all do?
Amen.
It's so strange.
At least they're not, just sitting at home. So
yeah, I
good
suppose.
for them. So anyway, the thing about Titanic obviously being like one of the biggest movies ever, and the biggest movie ever at the time before Avatar came out. Like, this kid was like 20, maybe, and probably him and Kate Winslet both like could have just never worked again if they didn't want to.
Yeah.
So I think that's the other thing, was like, okay, and I'm this huge superstar. I barely just started my career. I have more money than I could have ever imagined. And now, if I'm going to do a movie, I'm going to do it because I really want to do this film. So then it was like, and I'm not looking this up, so I'm just going off the top of my head, but it's like, Catch Me If You Can. There's that psychological thriller, the one that you love, where he's like in the prison or something.
Oh, Shutter Island.
Shutter Island. Inception. Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
Departed. Like, he's like making bangers, because it's like, I can just afford to just do only great movies. If I don't have to do a bad movie. He still did The Beach, which was like his one miss.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I really like the one that he did with Kate Winslet as well, Revolutionary Road.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
So like, yeah, like, this guy just, his filmography is fantastic. And I think it's all because he made all his money at the beginning of his career. It's like, I'm only going to do fantastic movies now.
Fair enough. All right, so speaking of who else is in this film, we have Aramis is played by Jeremy Irons. I don't know if you know this, but he was the voice of Scar in The Lion King in '94.
Will I like the surprise?
Simba, it's to die for.
I feel like I had heard that before, but it's not a fact that I remembered.
Okay. He also was in Die Hard with a Vengeance, Lolita, The Merchant of Venice, Watchmen, the TV show, Count of Monte Cristo, and a couple of episodes of The Morning Show.
Nah, Jeremy Irons is outside.
So, he's here. Then we have John Malkovich, who plays, is it Athos or Athos? Athos?
Athos. Yeah.
He was in, Being John Malkovich, In the Line of Fire, Burn After Reading, Dangerous Liaisons, which was the original Cruel Intentions. Mm-hmm. He also was in that movie Opus on HBO. Did you watch that?
Opus? What's that?
He was
about?
like this celebrity singer.
With Ayo Adebiri. Yeah. I did watch that.
Yeah, that was a weird movie.
It was weird.
So he was in that most recently. He's a fantastic actor. I
loved him in this movie. He might have been my favorite. He might have been my favorite part of this film.
Because you feel for his character.
100%. But also, like, John Malkovich, to your point, like, he plays a lot of weirdos in movies like Opus, or even like Being John Malkovich is just like a weird movie in general. But I feel like this is a more grounded character than what I'm used to seeing him play. And like you said, he's an empathetic character where you kind of feel for his plight, and you're like, you want him to win.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, so we should probably do the one sentence summary, because we didn't do that.
Okay, yeah. So you do that, and then I will briefly mention the director, because that's something I want to mention.
Right. So, Man in the Iron Mask, one sentence summary.
Oh, okay.
Man, because how do you one sentence? An evil king imprisoned his brother, and the musketeers attempt to save the brother in order to overtake the crown.
Okay, yes. So this is the setting of this film. It's based in Paris in 1662. This film was directed by Randall Wallace, and he also wrote the screenplay for this film. He also directed and wrote We Were Soldiers, and he wrote Pearl Harbor and Braveheart. Braveheart is probably
So he
one
likes
of
movies with a lot of fighting.
Yeah, Braveheart is probably one of my favorite war movies of all time. So yeah, he does like these big, like epic type of films.
I mean, this is not really a war movie.
No, no.
There's some stuff going on that makes war imminent.
Maybe it's more like historical, I should say.
Yeah.
Because even We Were Soldiers is based on a war. So it's like kind of a historical type. Pearl Harbor, historical. And in this movie, like, so what I liked about this is just watching Leonardo DiCaprio play two roles. Because he's playing King Louis, who is, I mean, this character, he does not care about really anyone other than himself. It's very clear. He is pretty pompous. He talks to his advisors as if they're idiots. He sees women and he just basically hooks up with a different woman every night because he's king. He doesn't care about the people that he's ruling over. There's a whole plot. A big part of the plot is that they're starving. They have rotten food. And he literally could not care less. He is essentially sending all the good food that they have to the soldiers to fuel all of these wars that people think are unnecessary so that he can attain more power and more land and just basically show how great he is. Whereas you have Philippe, who is his twin brother. They are identical. And Philippe is locked away in this iron mask. At the start of the movie, we have no idea who this man in the iron mask is. We know that there is a man in a mask and he is in prison. He's living like in very dire conditions.
He's living in a prison in 1662 France.
The first time someone speaks to him, a jailer checks on him and says, "You dead yet?" and gives him a dry piece of bread.
Right.
So all that to say, as the movie progresses and you get to see Leo playing these different roles, it was really intriguing, and just goes to show like how great of an actor he is, as he can just turn on, you know, that pompous attitude and then turn it back off and be like someone who is self-conscious and shy and doesn't really know how to fit in. Like it's
hasn't seen his own face in decades.
Yeah, I mean, like the acting this time around, like I was just like, oh, look at him go, and he was so young.
This kid, man. I mean, even Gilbert Grape was like 1992. I mean, he did that movie when he was like, what, 14?
Oh, yeah.
So he already had it from a young age. So you already knew he was going to be nice.
All right.
The thing about this movie and a lot of movies like it is the fact that this does take place in France in the 1600s.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I will say is that the accents in this film are all over the place. And most of them are British, which I feel like is just something that very often happens in American movies that are set anywhere in Europe. Mm-hmm. Everyone just sounds like they're English, which is not what people sounded like because it's France. There's probably one actor, D'Artagnan, who actually uses a French accent. Leonardo DiCaprio just spends the entire movie sounding like an American.
But don't forget Gerard Depardieu, who plays Porthos.
That's probably who I'm thinking of.
Because he actually played...
Porthos is the one that sounds French.
Yeah, he's the one that played Cyrano de Bergerac from that old story. But yeah, he was clearly French.
Yeah.
But you're right. The other accents really weren't French at all.
Yeah, they weren't accents.
They weren't French at all.
Or it's just like, why does everyone sound like they're in London? I don't understand.
Or just American.
Yeah, Leo didn't even try to put on an accent.
I want you to find out who the secret leader of the Jesuits is, and when you have, for God and for France, I wish you to kill him.
He was just like, yeah.
And I don't even know if John Malkovich did either.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't.
But it's neither here nor there. We get it. We see the garb that they're wearing. We understand they're not from this current time.
So what we come to find out is that the musketeers are basically like the king's army. And there's these old guys. They're not old, but they're like in their 40s. And they all basically were musketeers together. They were very close. Mm-hmm. And over the years, they have kind of all gone their separate ways. So you have Porthos, Aramis, D'Artagnan, and Athos. Porthos is the wild boy.
Man.
He likes hooking up with the chicks and getting drunk and wilding out. And he basically just needs like excitement in his life to feel purpose. And if it's not exciting and he's not lit and he's not getting the hose, then he's like, yo, I'm going to kill myself. Literally.
Yeah, he literally tries to hang himself because his penis wasn't working. He was trying to have a threesome. Yeah. No, a foursome. Because there were 3 women there.
Yes.
And he was so upset that it wasn't operating the way he wanted it to. And so he went to hang himself butt naked. Or is it buck naked?
Buck or butt.
Butt naked.
Aramis decides that he's going to become a priest.
Yeah.
So he is now doing that. Athos basically retires and he basically focuses on his son, Raoul, who wants to follow in his father's footsteps and become a musketeer himself. And then we have D'Artagnan, who basically still works for the king. So this creates this internal rift between the 4 guys because Porthos and Aramis are basically living completely separate lives, where one is just like involved in all of the revelry of enjoying life, just straight, doing whatever he wants.
Yeah, because think about it. It's like
Aramis is like this devout Catholic man.
Right. Because like he's thinking, as far as what Porthos is thinking, it's like, I spent all my life fighting, so now it's like I'm retired, so I'm going to live it up. Like, people know who he is. He's one of like the musketeers, so it's like,
yeah.
I'm going to live my life, have fun, and that's it. He also is not afraid of anything. Like, he's very much like, wherever the wind blows, like, he's there.
So they're at odds in their lifestyle, but then D'Artagnan and Athos become at odds as well because the king, everybody hates him. Everybody knows he's a jerk. And not only that, he ends up basically getting Athos' son killed because he has a crush on Athos' girlfriend.
Man, that was really upsetting. And it's like I knew where the story was going, and it still was just like, this is going to be very random, but it reminded me of like the story of King David in the Bible.
Nah, not random at all. I wrote the same thing down. It's the exact same story.
Because it was like, literally like King David saw Bathsheba taking a bath, which I feel like her name was a little bit on the nose there, but Bathsheba is taking a bath.
What should we name her?
Taking a bath, and apparently back then it was like, uncovered outdoors. He sees her, and like, I don't know if she was married or betrothed to someone else, but whatever the situation was, he was like, oh, your man is in the military? All right, bet. Because I think he accosts her, and she basically is like, no, I'm married. And he was like, oh, yeah? Cool. And then King David gave the order for her man to get to the front of the line, and then her man basically gets wrapped. And then after that happens, King David is like, all right, now you with me. And he like marries her and brings him into the palace. So I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh, this is literally what happened in that Bible story. And that's what he does. And Christine is the woman that Louis sees. He falls for her. And Christine does not want to be with the king at all. But it's also like, he's the king.
And not only that, but she's poor. And he like basically like settles all her family's debts.
Her sister and father are sick.
Yeah,
so it's
make
like
sure they get medical
the best care.
And it's like all the people in France are starving because he's hoarding all the food for his army.
Right.
So now you're like well fed and your family's getting taken care of. So she's basically like held hostage in a way where he basically quote unquote invites her to live in the palace, but like she doesn't really have a choice. And then he gets upset because she's like, yeah, I still love him even though he's no longer here. Yes. And he's like, wait, what? So this is obviously a guy that doesn't really understand how love works. And I think on some level, King Louis does want partnership and love, but like doesn't really understand how to relate to other people. And so his way of doing it is just like flaunting his wealth and flaunting his power. And then he kind of just like uses women. But even the way that he's talking about Christine to like D'Artagnan and the other people in his circle is like, he thinks in his head that if he like spends enough time with this person, oh yeah, I feel like I love her because I saw her once and she's beautiful. And also the fact that she didn't like fawn over him like other girls did. And that she kind of like was unimpressed. I feel like that made him want her a little bit more.
Of course.
And then it was like, oh, I think I love her. It's like, bro, I don't think you understand what that word means.
I think I love her. Louis, you don't love me. Louis, you don't love me.
I know I love her. So then it's like, he's just doing this on some like, oh, maybe this can be, it's like he has this romantic idea, but he doesn't really understand how to like carry it out.
But the thing about it is, it's like he wants it in return, but then as soon as she rebuffs him, he turns on her. Because what ends up happening is he tells her that, you know, he put in an order to get Raoul set back. But for whatever reason, like the person in charge of the military ignored his order and Raoul was killed.
Which is definitely cap.
Not what happened. Before Raoul even dies, he wrote a letter to Christine. He was like on the front line. He went to the guy and was like messenger and said, make sure this goes back to Christine. And in the letter, he basically explained that he was placed on the front line. So she gets the letter, of course, weeks after she passes, because this is back in the 1600s. There's no post office. And so she gets the letter later on and she realizes, like, wait, you're the reason why he's actually dead. So she confronts him in the bed, like, I still love him, whatever. And he gets so mad. And she's like, I think we're both going to burn in hell, she says, for what we did, because she was, you know, promised to this man and she basically slept with someone else. So in her mind, we're going to hell. And he says, no, my love, you will burn in hell, but I will not, for I am king ordained by God. I was like, oh. And that's the last time we see them interacting together.
Well.
Because then she's like, I'm over this.
We do see them interact. Well, I guess it's not with him.
Exactly.
Because, yeah.
Yeah.
So now the whole plan is like, yo, we got to get this king out of here. There's already this entire faction that is basically trying to rebel against the crown. And there's this group of Jesuits that are basically like creating this rebellion coup, I guess.
Yeah, because the people are starving.
So the king finds out about this, and he reaches out to Aramis, because he's like, yo, I know you was one of the realists out here when you were a musketeer. I know you know people. And so I'm calling you to basically find out who is the leader of the Jesuits and kill them. What the king doesn't know is that Aramis is the leader of the Jesuit rebels.
Right.
On top of that, Athos is Raoul's dad. So he's pissed because he knows that the king basically got his son killed.
Man.
So they're like, yo, we're gonna get back at this guy. Porthos is like, I'm down for the smoke, so whatever y'all are doing, I'm down. And they're trying to get the whole gang back together, and D'Artagnan is a huge chip because he already works at the palace.
He's like his right-hand man.
So
like, doesn't even just work there. It's like, I'm like the head of like the bodyguards basically for the king.
He's
so,
Kevin
like,
Costner out here.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, like, if you get down with this, like, we could really hem him up. And D'Artagnan's like, yeah, nah, I'm not down.
Treason.
So they're like, what do you mean you're not down?
And remember what Athos said to him?
What did he say?
He said,
the next time we meet, one of us will die.
He was not playing with him. But honestly, it's like, I get it, because like, you're sitting here defending this king after you know that he had my son killed. And what he even said on top of that was like, the king can get any woman in his bed that he wants. He does not even care for Christine. So why do all this? Just so you can bed her and that's it? So yeah, Athos was not here for it. So D'Artagnan basically runs out and he's like, I want no parts of this. And they used to always meet like in this weird like underground crypt, it looked like. It was like their old musketeer hideout. So after they realize that he's out, it's just the three of them. And they decide, you know, what are we going to do? So the only person that really knows the entire plan is Aramis. Because he's the one who knows that Louis's twin brother is the man in the Iron Mask. The other two are not aware of that information. They just know that for some reason, we need to rescue this man from prison is part of the plan that he has. So the plan to get him out of the prison.
Apparently, D'Artagnan doesn't know either.
Yes.
Well, I did want to ask you something about him too, because I mean, we find out later in the movie that the twins are his, which adds a lot of context as to like why he's doing so much defending of the king, who is by all accounts a terrible guy.
Yeah.
But earlier in the movie, we talked about the fact that the king is about to send Raoul to the front line.
Mm-hmm.
And D'Artagnan knows that this is his friend's son. And he basically goes to the king's like, yo, like, you shouldn't really do this, da-da-da. He does it anyway. And I guess my thing is like, did he do enough to stop the king? And yeah, like, is there more that he could have done?
I think no, because we see how fickle the king is. Case in point, at the very beginning, the first time we see the king, but where they have this whole like event with the pig chase and all that, he's getting dressed and two of his advisors are talking to him and they're like, hey, the people are rebelling because they don't have food or the food they have is rotting. Huh? What did I say?
Rebelling.
Oh, God. The food is expired or it's not there at all. So they're starving and people are upset. And so they're like, is there a way we can pull back on the food we're giving to the troops and give it to the people? And he ignores them, kind of like, I'm getting dressed, whatever. Later on, when D'Artagnan goes to the king and says basically the same thing, he goes outside and he fires his head advisor and says, you're being fired for like, giving people rotten food. Have him executed. And he's like, here, you're the new advisor. And like, that was it. So it was like, I tried to warn you, and then I get executed because D'Artagnan did the same thing. Like, it didn't make any sense. And so I think it's like, being around this king this entire time, it's like he's not as bad as Joffrey from Lord of the Rings.
Game
of Thrones. But it's still that kind of idea where it's like, you have no idea how he's going to turn. And like, he was kind of pushing it, like to go back to him multiple times and ask for things. So I feel like
it's like you're walking on eggshells every time you're around this guy.
Yeah.
He might just get you killed.
So yeah,
fair.
He could have helped more behind the king's back, but I don't think he could have stopped him.
Well, that's the other thing though. If it's like, this is my son and it's a secret, but I know it's my kid. Like, how much am I going to conspire against him if I know that it's going to potentially end up in him getting killed? Even if I know he's a bad guy, it's like, do you want your son killed because even though he's bad?
Maybe they're just going to lock him up, which is what they do.
Yes, that is what they end up doing. I think that's where he's kind of like, it's like, I know my son is in the wrong, and I know my son got your son killed, but I can't. As a dad, I just can't bring myself to like get him out of here. And I think that's the whole D'Artagnan thing where it's like, because the whole movie you're watching it and you're like, yo, what's wrong with this guy? Like, well, he needs to get with the program.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when you find out that it's his son, it's like, okay, well, this explains why he was acting so like suspect the entire film.
Yeah, like all the scenes that he has with the Queen Mother. When they're sneaking around and they start kissing, I said, oh.
Let's get it on.
So that's what's going on here. They had a little thing going on the side.
Let's get it on.
And basically when the queen gave birth, she gave birth to twins. She didn't even know that the second kid, I guess, lived. They said that he was stillborn or something like that.
Yeah.
So and the king, I don't get this. The king basically said he didn't want to have both of his sons fighting over the crown after he passed. And so he's like, well, let's just pick one, I guess. This one will be the king, and the other one we're going to lock up and like just put a mask on him so no one will know who he is. And I'm like,
diabolical plan.
What? Why was that the plan?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the older son would just get it. Whichever twin came out first, he would have the rights to it.
Yeah, I guess he was trying to avoid like a Cain and Abel situation where like he ends up going and killing his brother.
But you're not really living a life. Like
Who,
what?
The second brother?
Yeah, what life is he?
You're
so
basically
he might as well.
You're basically just saying like, We have one son. The other one, we're just gonna pretend like he never came out.
You know what this reminds me of, but on a much lighter version? The Parent Trap. It's like, I just have one daughter now.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did on The Parent Trap. It's like, all right, bet. So you'll take one, I'll take one. We'll never let them know that the other one exists.
And we'll never see the other child.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna agree to never see my child again. All right, cool. We'll shake on it. It's funny because you talked about when he had the whole pig chase party. Mm-hmm. He has like this garden party at the palace, and he has all these like highfalutin bougie guests, and then he basically puts like a diamond on a pig and is like, yo, whoever wants this diamond, you have to catch the pig. Mm-hmm. And he has them running around chasing this pig around his garden.
It's fun.
It reminded me of that episode of Succession where they were playing Bore on the Floor.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I have never
Bore
had...
on the floor!
Tom!
Yes?
Sit on the floor. It's fun.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's a game. Bore on the floor.
I feel...
Get down! Bore on the floor.
That gave me so much anxiety watching that scene.
Bore on the floor, man.
Oh my God. I gotta watch that again. I gotta watch it again. I was so uncomfortable.
I'm 100% rewatching Succession this year. It's such a good show. But yeah, that's what it reminded me of, Bore on the Floor. So not as dark.
Not
Anywhere near as dark. But still pretty like humiliating to just like have these people chasing around a pig for your own entertainment just to see them make fools of themselves.
Although during that chase sequence, there was someone there who was sent to kill him or trying to kill him. And D'Artagnan is able to stop him by, throwing his sword into the guy's chest. And you talked about what more he could have done to like stop the whole thing with Christine, because initially he sees that even the way that King Louis talks to Christine is mad crazy. He basically corners her by turning on different water like sprinkler systems to go off. So like she would get blocked.
Cornered into the garden
blocked this
by
way,
herself.
blocked this way. So she has no choice but to walk a certain direction. And lo and behold, he shows up. He's like, well.
He's like in full on.
It's like, come on, bro. This is so aggressive.
It's so gross.
D'Artagnan sees what's happening, and the pig is nearby. So he grabs the pig and basically like puts it near them to like try to distract him from trying to make a move and kiss her, because he knows how creepy this guy is. So it's like, again, he's doing what he can to help his friend without, getting his head chopped off, basically.
Yeah, he was definitely giving like Gaston and Belle energy.
Oh, God. Oh, I felt so bad for her.
Where it's like, I'm not trying to initiate this at all, and you just keep like pressing yourself up on me.
Keep doing it. Okay, so they had this plan with Father Aramis, where every week there's a certain day of the week where the man in the Iron Mask is allowed to have a priest come and visit so he can have his confession. And so he decides to dress up as like some older looking like monk, like he has different facial hair, and they have a dead body like wrapped around his stomach. So he looks like a obese priest. He like waddles his way into the prison, and when he gets in, the body is wearing the clothes that Philippe would be wearing. He's also wearing his own matching iron mask. And he tells Philippe, we're breaking you out of here. Basically just like, hold on to my stomach and wrap your legs around me as I escort you out of the prison. And it almost works. Actually, no, it does work. Sorry. They're actually able to get him out of there. Once they're out and they're able to take his mask off and they see that he looks just like Louis, Aramis is able to tell the other two musketeers the story that, he's actually the brother. And what we're going to do is replace them. We're going to have him act as Louis and take Louis back. And they're like, there's no way that in 3 weeks, this kid who's frightened can learn to be Louis.
Nah. You're trying. It's not even just the fact that he's frightened. It's the fact that he has been completely shut away from society.
Yes.
Like he
battered.
He has no social skills. He's been living in a cell by himself. He didn't even know what he looked like. Never mind the fact that he was of royal ancestry. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's like, not only are you trying to socialize this man, you're trying to teach him how to be a royal.
And a jerk at that.
Right. Which he is not a jerk. He does not do a good job of that at all.
At all.
But even the level that he gets to is still like a little unbelievable that he would be able to do it. But again, this is a film.
I mean,
and it's,
he just says continue like 10 times.
I
That's all he really says, because the day that they actually show him, it's at this ball. They end up,
masquerade ball, baby.
Exactly. It's perfect
How
opportunity.
appropriate.
Perfect opportunity. So they're able to they have some, they trick the other King Louis by having people wear an iron mask behind a masquerade mask. And they would take it off for a second and spin away. So he's seeing iron mask and he's thinking am I hallucinating? Am I seeing things? What's happening? And he leaves the room, and after he leaves the room and goes into his bedroom, they're able to go in by a secret passageway and, knock him out, subdue him, and then dress his brother Philippe in his garb. And every time I watch movies like this with secret passageways, I'm just like, man, I would kill for that. I would love to be able to open a huge portrait and walk behind it and have a different staircase, and it just seems so cool.
You just gotta buy Bruce Manor in Gotham City, and then
I don't want a bat cave. I just want a secret passageway. It's not the same thing.
Okay. Well, what other movies have we seen with a secret passageway? Addams Family.
Addams Family has
had a secret passageway. Richie Rich.
See, that's probably the best one. Yeah.
Richie
That's
Rich.
probably the best one. Okay, so at this point, we have Philippe pretending to be Louis. And as Joel said, he does a very poor job. And this is how D'Artagnan is able to realize this is not him. Because some woman accidentally trips and falls right in front of him. And his instinct, because Philippe is a good guy, is to get up and offer his hand, see how she's doing. And everybody just stops and they're like, because they thought for sure she was about to get cursed out or something, removed. Can I help you up? And she's like, oh, sorry, Your Majesty. That was weird. Then Christine comes in and she's a mess. She finds Raoul's letter, and this is when she's crying and she spazzes out. She yells murderer, at the top of her lungs in front of a huge ball. Louis would not have stood for that. There's no way.
He would have had her executed.
Yeah. In the middle of the ballroom.
And he's like, "Yo, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Let's see what we can do for you." Mm-hmm. So everybody's looking what's happening?
Right.
What happened to the king? Why is he acting like a nice guy all of a sudden?
Yeah, it didn't really make a lot of sense. So that's where D'Artagnan was like, let's close all the exits. Something's not right. And so the ball is continuing on, and the plan was he's going to sit for a couple songs, retire to his room, and then he was supposed to, speak with his mother or whatever. But because their plan has been foiled by D'Artagnan, they're trying to leave out with the captured Louis. And
I just gotta say, before we talk about the escape, the ballroom scene was fantastic. It was definitely, for me, the best part of this movie.
Were you nervous?
I don't think I was nervous. It was just everything that happened, every piece of it, I felt was just really well done and entertaining. From the beginning, where he's seeing all the iron masks, and it's a masquerade ball, so everybody has a mask on. So even it's he can't just be oh, are y'all seeing people with masks? Then it's yes, bro. The whole room has.
He actually does say that, and the lady he's dancing with is yes, everyone has a mask.
Yeah, it's so you sound crazy.
Yeah.
So he's yo, what's going on? And also the fact that this whole twin brother in the iron mask is apparently something that very few people even know about. Mm-hmm. So it's not even he can bring it up. His dad, who set the whole thing up, is now gone. Mm-hmm. So he knows. It's probably just also, why does he know at all? Because he was a baby when this happened. But whatever.
Maybe his dad just told him to protect your legacy.
Yeah, so he knows, his dad knows, Aramis knows.
That's about it, it seems
like. Yeah, so nobody's, it's he can't really say anything. So that part is fire. Then he leaves. They swap them out. They rough him up. They put my man Philippe they give him some kitten heels, all this stuff.
He was wearing kitten heels.
He put the kitten heels on. He had the fluffy t-shirt. He had the puffy shirt from Seinfeld. He was lit. But then it's the part where, because D'Artagnan and the mom have this whole relationship. Mm-hmm. At some point, the mom gets hip to it because I think she gets a letter. How did the mom know?
I think Aramis told her.
Aramis told her.
That's why she went to the ball to see her son.
So the mom shows up to the ball.
Yeah.
still pretending in front of everybody that it's Louis, but she knows it's Philippe. So they get to connect for the first time. He's meeting his mom for the first time.
Yeah, that was sweet.
So that part's fire. Then Christine shows up, and I'm like, yo, I didn't see this. This is a twist. She shows up. She starts spazzing out. And then also I think what makes the scene cool is, like you said earlier, it's the fact that we're seeing Leo be these two different people.
Oh, man, he's so good.
So you're seeing him, like, at the beginning of the scene acting like this jerk, and at the end being like this nervous, scared little boy who doesn't even know what to do in this room full of rich people. The entire scene put together is just like, it's wonderfully done.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Escape?
Yeah. So the whole plan is like, we're going to take the king away in a boat because apparently all these castles have like these secret passageways that all lead to like rivers. So they're going to push him in the river, not in the river, but they're going to take him into a boat and escape so that they can, like, I guess, lock him away somewhere. And then Philippe will be left in the palace, and he'll just be assumed as the king.
Yeah.
But what happened? D'Artagnan finds out about the plan and basically snitches them out.
Yeah, he basically is like, everybody lock the exits because he knows, like, Louis would never act like this.
But it's like, bro, your friends told you the plan.
He didn't know the plan. He just knew that they were trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't know exactly what they're trying to do.
But at this point, you must have figured it out. Oh, he doesn't know that there's a twin.
He didn't know until later on, remember? It was like, twins? And that's the whole thing, like, I'm sorry, but fast forward a little bit, like...
Yeah, but if the king's acting funny, and he looks exactly like the king...
I don't know, did they drug him? Did they...
Yeah, like, what do you think happened? If it's not a twin, then you're just like, oh, maybe the king is acting like a good guy. This is a huge problem. You should just let it play out. Like, because you're not even proud. He says later on in the movie when he's able to finally meet Philippe and realizes that, like, there's two of them. And he says, I never felt pride as a father until now.
Yeah.
Which is a huge sign that, like, you knew that your son was not a good person. Because even though you knew you were his father, you never felt pride. So it's like, bro, why? You are trying very hard to protect this guy's legacy when you know that he's, like, ruining Paris.
Flesh and blood. Blood's thicker than water, Joel.
I guess.
That's how he felt about it.
I guess.
But yeah, that was kind of odd for him to be like, oh, he's acting strange, close the exits. But maybe he thought, like I said, maybe they drugged him or did something to him. I don't know.
Good. Keep drugging him. He's actually acting like a nice guy for once.
Keep drugging.
Those are the best drugs ever, man. Load him up. Why would you stop this?
So, yeah, the soldiers come through, and this is when they're able to stop them from taking Louis out. And this is the scene where you're talking about how Leo can switch characters so quickly. So you see on the one hand, they have Louis, he's in the boat. They have, like, you know, his mouth is tied back and all that, but he can see what's going on. And with his eyes, you can see with the eyes, like, this is Louis. Like, he's enraged. It's like, get them. Like, they're trying to take me away. And his brother Philippe comes over, you know, he's like, I'm sorry, I messed up. Like, you know, just really sad and forlorn and, like, a little bit scared because, like, what's going to happen to me now? And the musketeers initially were trying to just, like, at this point, let's leave with Louis and... They wanted to leave with Louis and Philippe and just, like, get away. But then in the last minute, D'Artagnan puts a knife to Philippe's neck, and so it's like, all right, let's just switch one for the other. And when they go for the switch, of course, they do the okie doke, and the soldiers are able to grab Philippe as well. So now musketeers leave off without Philippe and without Louis.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't do a really good job with this switch. Like, come on, bro.
No.
Y'all should have had...
No.
Y'all are musketeers. Like,
Yeah.
what are y'all doing?
There's a whole army, to be fair. But anyway, when this happens, like once Louis has been saved by D'Artagnan and his, like, mouth covering comes off, man, he's like, get them, kill them, restrain them. And I'm like, oh, like, just to see the change happen so fast. And he was just, in the eyes, you could see the anger versus the softness of Philippe. It was just really good acting. I was like, man, this is, again, giving Parent Trap. The two different, characters.
Yeah, I think it's always more impressive when the actor's young, too. I mean, he wasn't as young as Lindsay Lohan in Parent Trap, but he's definitely no older than like 21.
Yeah, he's still very young. He's still very young. So
the other thing about King Louis, though, like, they don't really explain this. And I guess on some level we're supposed to believe that it's just because he's, rich and powerful. But, like, he doesn't operate with any sense of remorse or empathy at all. And from all accounts, his mother is not this way. I just was kind of wondering as I'm watching the movie, like, how did this kid end up like this? We don't really meet the dad because he's already dead as the movie's taking place. But I was just curious about that. Like, why is he this way? And I guess for the purposes of the movie, it doesn't really matter because we just need a villain. And a king is a very easy villain, especially when you have, like, a bunch of poor people who are being very poorly fed. But it was something that I was wondering, like, how did this guy get so evil? Because his mom doesn't seem to be this way at all. And supposedly she's the one that helped raise him.
Well, the dad was probably trashed. If you're going to throw one of your kids away.
Yeah, that's true.
I would imagine but although maybe not, because I believe D'Artagnan even said that, like, he served his father before him and they were hoping that he would grow up to be the king and that they deserved. So I would assume the king was a decent man. Because even the other musketeers used to work for the
I thought
king.
that went the other thing too, though. I took it the other way of, like, the last king was trash, and they were hoping that this king was going to be the one, but then he was trash too, so they're, like, still waiting.
That's possible, and it would explain why he's so trash.
Yeah,
because you watch your father at a young age doing the council meetings and all that, and you learn how to rule, and that's what you do.
Sad,
very
totally
sad. So at this ending, I don't know how the Musketeers survived this.
It was very Batman.
It was like,
very Superman.
Okay. Like, so the Musketeers end up coming back because they're like, we have to
we gotta get our guy Philippe.
We gotta get Philippe out. And they end up going back, through, like, whatever, the underground tunnels, and they're able to get in, they're able to get Philippe, but now they don't know how to leave because they're surrounded. The jig is up. The soldiers know they're there, and it's like, how are we going to get out? And so they're like, basically, all for one and one for all, like, we're going to have to just do it. And at this point, D'Artagnan is with them because now he realizes my son is trash. He's always going to be trash. He knows it's his brother, and he doesn't care.
Nah, he's like, kill them all.
And so he's like, I gotta side with y'all. So he ends up getting them in. He tells them, like, how to get in. He tries to help him out. And at this point, it's the four of them, and Philippe can't fight, so he's just there, versus the entire King's Guard. And they decide at one point, they're cornered. They're like, okay, this is it. This is how we're gonna go down. We're gonna die fighting. Let's just go out and just charge them. And all they have are swords. Where the King's Guard, they have guns. So I'm like, oh, y'all all just gonna get shot. And so they turn the corner and they start charging. And the King's Guards are watching. Their guns are pointed at them. And they just are in awe at, how they're racing towards their death. And they're standing up for what they believe in. And one of the guys even says, magnificent valor.
Magnificent valor.
I said, oh.
Magnificent valor.
He's like, and Louis like,
in the most British accent.
Yes. He's like, shoot, kill them. And no one wants to shoot because they can't believe, like, and again, D'Artagnan, he is very respected. He's respected by the guards, respected by the people.
He's like a living legend.
Yeah, earlier on in the film, remember, he stops the riot. The people actually had, like, a couple of the guards captured, and he stopped the riot and said, on my word, I'll talk to King Louis to get the food. So it's like, I think on the one hand, they're like, yo, I can't fight this man. And eventually King Louis like hits someone with their gun and the gun goes off. And once the one gun goes off, they all shoot. Bah, 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 bah. And so now we're like, oh, like, that's it. But then the smoke clears. And they're all standing. They're all there.
And this is 1662, so this is like you
give it
load
one
it
shot.
up. You load it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, you have one shot.
You put the gunpowder in and you shoot it once.
Yes.
But it also feels like they're all like closing their eyes.
Yeah, they don't
Like-
want to shoot them. Yeah.
Like they don't actually want to hit the target, so they're
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
shooting.
Pointing
So, like,
their guns down, shooting at the wall.
on the one hand, it's like, all right, maybe they missed on purpose, but on the other hand, it's like the hallway's not that big. And if you shoot in any direction, especially if it's 20 guns pointed anywhere in your direction, there's no way that all of you don't get hit.
That's the thing. Like, they didn't have to die, but like, no one got shot in the leg. Like, there was nothing. There was
Yeah,
nothing.
it is a little too convenient.
And then after that happens, they're kind of just like, well, we didn't shoot him, so that's it. Like, they just kind of stopped fighting them.
Nah, because it was like, yo, like they came, they stuck to their guns, and also it's like D'Artagnan is with them, and he's our guy. Like we actually respect him more than we respect the king,
Yeah, yeah.
because not only was he one of us, but he's also like goated. Like he's a legend, and he's a man of his word. Like he's a man of valor. So if he's defending these guys, then it's like we're actually all just gonna turn on the king because we already know that he's trash, and it's like everybody's doing what they have to do, right? It's like the code of being a soldier or whatever, right? It's like
Follow the orders.
I might not agree with the president, but I'm still gonna go fight this war because I'm in the U.S. Army, so it's
Right.
just what I'm doing. But it's like, yeah, we don't actually respect this guy. So it's like they kind of just needed a reason, and then it's like, oh, and there's this. It's like a replacement, like right in front of us.
Right. They're like, wait, is a brother? It's like, y'all can't see.
And he's royal blood.
Yeah,
So it's like,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
all right, like yeah, we're gonna do what we need to do here.
Yeah, so they're like, okay. So at that point, Louis still not done though, because he's just like, I gotta kill this guy because he's a threat to the throne, which he's very much aware of. So he gets
And
out.
he sees his entire army turn on him.
Yeah, so he gets out his dagger and he goes to stab his brother Philippe, and D'Artagnan takes one in the back to defend his good son. And
Not Macaulay Culkin.
no. But then he says before he dies, he basically talks about how like this is the death he wanted, and I was just like, he's like, all his life, this is the death that he wanted. And I said, what? Like, I guess he's dying for something he believes in, I guess is what I'm supposed to take from that. But it was just kind of like, bro, your son just killed you.
The son that you
I don't
were
think that
jumping
was
through
the
hoops to
death
protect.
that you wanted. But
Yeah.
but okay, I guess. And you're right. At this point, they're like, oh, well, we're going to take this guy as a prisoner. They put something over his head. So the other soldiers, because basically only the main guys saw what was going on. The other soldiers, like on the outskirts, didn't see. So they're like, oh, yeah, this guy's a prisoner. Oh, he's gone mad. So whatever he says, don't pay attention. Because he's like, I'm the real king. And they knock him out. It's like, oh, he's crazy.
Right.
So lock him up with someone who's deaf and mute and feed him well. That's what Philippe said. Now that he's wearing his royal garb. And now he is King Louis. And so,
That's nice of him. Even
yeah,
this guy that was
he's
trying
a
to kill
nice
him.
guy.
This
He's
guy
a
was trying
nice
to kill
guy.
him, and he's still like, "Yo, don't make sure he doesn't starve."
Yeah, because he wants him to live his days out. Just think about it. It's like,
Yeah.
I want you to live as long as I had to in that mask. I don't want you to starve.
Much longer than that.
Well,
He was in the mask for like maybe 17 or 18 years. He's gonna be in it for the next 50.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I will say it's probably fair that D'Artagnan dies in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand that he is the dad of both of these people, and he was conflicted because he didn't want his son to get killed, and he didn't know that there was a twin. But he also like enabled a lot of BS, and was like riding out for this villain for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There were definitely points in this movie where I'm like, yo, this guy gotta go.
You were over him.
And at the end, he did go. So I was kind of like, I'm all right with that. He came to peace with the fact that he was enabling this idiot. And he died for a good reason. And
Yeah.
his death allowed Philippe to actually become the king. He's gonna have to use his brother's name for the rest of his life. But
That's fine.
That's fine.
His
And
queen mother is there
knows
to
who
help
it is.
him, to help him, go through it. And, he'll use whatever advisors he has. He'll be fine.
So what would you say was the theme of this movie?
God don't like ugly. That's the theme, because,
God don't like ugly masks.
God don't like ugly. Louis was doing the most. As you mentioned, we're not really clear as to why he was the way he was. Maybe it was his father. But at a certain point, it's like, I get that D'Artagnan kept saying he could not betray his king because of the whole idea of like loyalty. But at a certain point, you have to kind of think about, does it still make sense for me to align myself in this way just because I made a vow to do this? I don't know how many years ago. Like, I think you kind of have to reassess the situation and realize and try to think, like, what I decided to do in the past, does it still make sense to do this now? And for him, obviously, it got to the point where it didn't. Louis was just ugly for no reason. And, he could have still been king if he was the older twin and just had his brother, because his brother never would have fought him over the crown. Like,
Well, we don't know that. He would have grown up completely differently.
yeah.
He might have been a jerk like him if he'd been raised by the same dad. Like, who knows? I feel like him being imprisoned allowed him to build the character that he had because he knew what pity was.
But then it could have gone the other way. Like, there are some people who are in prison and they come out and now they're like, I want to wreak hell on everybody
That's
because
true.
I'm over it.
It could have.
So,
It would've been made for a very good movie.
It's like, who do
They had
I root for?
two evil villains fighting against each other.
Who do I root for? But yeah, at the end of the day, whatever Louis did came back to bite him in the butt. He was trying so hard to keep his brother down, to keep him locked up. And at the end of the day, he ended up exactly where he placed his brother. Because initially, when his father sent his son away, he wasn't wearing a mask when he was a baby. He was just sent away. It was the brother that got him locked up, and he put the mask on him. So it's like, you're doing all this to keep him down. And I think it's good for you to get a taste of your own medicine. What is it? What is that?
You reap what you
Do
sow.
unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Is that golden rule?
Yep.
Well, there you go. Golden rule. God don't like ugly.
The iron rule.
those are the two. Those are the two themes.
Yeah, I think another theme was the fact that, like, some masks are forced and others are voluntary. Obviously, Philippe is the biggest example of, like, a forced mask where people weren't able to see who he was. He didn't even know what he looked like himself. He didn't know that he was the son of the king. But D'Artagnan's also wearing a mask. Aramis is even wearing a mask because, he's, like, leading this rebel cause and nobody knows about it. The Queen and D'Artagnan are both wearing a mask about their relationship. So, like, there are a lot of Iron Masks throughout this movie, not just Philippe's, because not everyone, Athos and Porthos are who they are. But there are a lot of other characters who are, like, hiding things and not showing their full selves for various reasons, for survival, for decorum, for whatever.
Even Christine initially, like, couldn't really tell the king she was repulsed by him, because kind of repulsed by him, because it's like, what am I supposed to do? Raoul is dead, and also my family's sick. So,
right.
Yeah, you gotta survive some way.
She ends up killing herself, by the way.
Yeah.
So
sad.
All
All right. Some facts.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier about the different accents, how you didn't really hear a lot of French. So as I said before, Gerard Depardieu is French. Gabriel Byrne, who played D'Artagnan, he's from The Usual Suspects. He is Irish. John Malkovich is American, and then Jeremy Irons is British. So they had 4 different countries represented here.
Used their own voice. Gerard Depardieu was the only one that was, like, actually French.
Well, it was easy for him, so
Right.
he just spoke in his regular accent. So this was an adaptation of the works by Alexander Dumas.
Yeah.
He had a
King
number...
Musketeers guy.
Yeah, he also did The Count of Monte Cristo. Like, he was big-time writer of all these old French novels. So there actually was a Man in the Iron Mask he was a mysterious figure from history who was imprisoned for many years in France from some time before 1681 until 1703. According to Britannica.com, he was made to wear a black velvet mask. Later legends converted the material into iron to make it, I guess, more interesting, but it actually was a velvet mask. Since the 18th century, there's been a lot of different suggestions as to whose identity was. Some thought it was an English nobleman. Other people thought it might be someone imprisoned by the Jesuits. But the most likely is that it was a man named Eustache Dosé. He was a male servant who was arrested for an unknown reason in 1669. While he was imprisoned, he served as a servant for another prisoner, and then later on for a different prisoner. And the story goes that it's possible he was kept in custody for so long to prevent him from divulging secrets that he learned while being a servant for someone else in jail, which is insane.
Why would prisoners have servants?
They were like noblemen who were imprisoned for something. So if I stole money or I did something,
so it's like you gotta go to prison, but you still got rank, so we're still gonna.
So it's like, if I'm in jail for something else, I'm just going to serve this person in jail. So legend has it that he served a longer time than he would have because he learned so many secrets and they didn't want to release him, which is crazy.
That's crazy, man.
Other articles have said that he was only made to wear this velvet mask when he was transferred from one prison or from one cell to another. So he wasn't wearing it all the time. It was just so that people wouldn't see him when he was moving around. As far as the film differences from reality, King Louis had a wife named Maria Theresa that was not featured in the film. Louis never had a twin brother, and he was not fathered by a musketeer. That was all added, of course, to create drama in the novels. Truth in the movie, Louis was vain. He prided himself in extravagant food and clothing, although the general population was in debt. So that's nice.
Nice guy.
He also had many mistresses. He was known to have over a dozen kids outside of his marriage. Again, nice guy.
Nice person.
And some close to King Louis were driven to fight against him during like 5 years of civil wars that initially involved some French judicial people. So like he was not a very nice person.
He's trash.
The Three Musketeers were based on actual French musketeers. They were skilled in swordsmanship and in firearms. And one of them actually was collecting revenue at the Abbey. So that's kind of where I think the priest connection came in the book. They kind of based it on that musketeer and made it into him being a priest. I don't believe he actually ever was a priest himself, but he was involved in the Abbey. So
what I don't understand, and maybe this is just because I don't really fully remember the story of the Three Musketeers, but this movie has 4 guys. So how did it become the Three Musketeers if there's Athos, Porthos, D'Artagnan, and Aramis? That's 4 musketeers.
Yeah, D'Artagnan apparently is supposed to be, he was like an elite regiment. He was on a different level than the other 3 guys.
Okay.
His regiment belonged to the king's household, and he became the captain of the guards. And D'Artagnan actually was his mother's family name. So that's the only name that is actually kind of close to the real musketeers. The other names, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis, were completely different. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce their French names because no.
All right.
So there you have it. All right, time for the rewind ratings, and I believe you go first this week.
Yeah, I remember, like, not that much from this movie because I feel like this is a movie that you really used to watch a lot when you were in your Leo DiCaprio crush phase.
Oh, boy.
And I don't know, I just never really cared that much about it. So I don't think this is a movie that I really spent a lot of time watching. I remember certain parts of it just from seeing it being on our family television all the time, but I feel like this might have been one of the first times that I like actually watched it from the beginning, understood the whole storyline of like what was happening. And I actually was like, I liked it more than I thought I was going to. I found it to be pretty entertaining. Like I said, 2.5 hours that I did not realize were that long because I was like into it. like I said, John Malkovich was also like refreshing to see him in this type of role where he's like this grieving father who's trying to right wrongs. And DiCaprio was DiCaprio, which we talked about already. So I'm going to give this a 3.5.
Nice score. Yes, this has a lot of nostalgia for me. As you said, I watched this a lot of times, including in the theater when it came out. And, you know, watching a film back as an adult, I'm always afraid, like, is there something I forgot that's going to not age well, or maybe it's not going to be as exciting, or the acting won't be as good. But no, it was solid. I enjoyed it very much so. And like I said, it didn't feel like it was that long. Like, I knew it was a long movie, but it didn't feel like I was watching my clock and saying, is it almost over? Or like, you know, when you're watching a movie and you pause it to see how much time is left?
Oh, yeah.
I did not do this for this one. So for me, I'm giving a strong score because, of course, Leo is fantastic. I'm giving it a 4.2.
4.2. Oh, we didn't say who recommended this.
Oh, my God. This is recommended by our Pops down in Georgia.
Oh, wow. Yo, shout out to Pops.
Thanks for remembering. Oh, man. He would have been like, you didn't say my name. Yeah.
And he probably remembers seeing it on our family television all the time, too.
Yes. Thanks for remembering that. I completely forgot. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, he definitely would have given you a phone call like, yo, so what's good? Like, I get no shout outs? Like, what's going on here? If you would like to recommend any movies for the podcast, please reach out to us. As you know, or maybe don't know, if this is your first episode, all the movies that we review on Rewind Rewatch are requested by listeners. So we do not, I mean, we certainly pick the movies based on the list of requests, but we do not cover any movies that have not been requested. If you'd like to request a movie for us, you can reach out to us at rewindrewatch1990s@gmail.com. You can also follow or DM us on any of our social media sites. Our accounts are available if you look for Rewind Rewatch Podcast. Most of them are at RR90sPod. And we also have a Patreon that is $5 a month that you can sign up for to get bonus episodes, as well as an opportunity to connect directly with us and with other exclusive listeners.
All right.
Any final words as we close out the episode on The Man in the Iron Mask?
To love you is a treason against France, but not to love you is a treason to my heart. In response, then we will both die traitors.
All right. Very...
Did you like that?
Yes, that was very romantic.
All right, y'all. See you next week. Later.
Adios.